Allow me to ask you a question. Have you ever hated a character so much, but you actually ended up liking them instead in the end? Yes, I mean, in my case, it takes a lot for anyone to actually get me to hate them. But Hoshina Subaru's character was actually successful in getting me to dislike her to some extent at least. Because during her first appearance, she actually came off as someone who was apathetic and uncaring. Her voice acting was done so nicely. It actually made me feel like she was an absolute ice queen.
その人、カオル子、その人、誰？千鳥の人。カオル子に関わらないでくれるかしら。カオル子を守るから。バカが増えた。
Props to her voice actress for actually having such a great variation. She absolutely destroyed that performance. She came off as someone who was an absolute misandrist too, because she literally hated Rintaro and his friends for just being men, which was kind of really funny and annoying, I won't lie. Not to mention, she was absolutely overprotective of her own friend being with Rintaro, as if she was opposed to the very idea of them being together, which was frustrating me to no end. Because I wanted Rintaro and Kaoru to actually get together and be a happy couple, and Hoshina Subaru literally ruined it. She also called Rintaro and his friends savages, which was absolutely brutal. I just wanna know, what was the author actually thinking when he actually wrote this in the book and actually made Hoshina's character say this line? I mean, the author must be actually creative if bro actually made her say this, dude. But I have to admit, at that point, I didn't know why she was angry and overprotective of her own friend when the guy wasn't even trying to do anything to her. And I can't really blame Natsuzawa for calling her a rich, spoiled princess, because from his perspective, he was just defending his friends. That's all he was trying to do, and he was trying to be a good friend to them. What a giga chat, dude. But I think he might have gone slightly far with that insult without knowing any context. And here, I noticed that Karoko was actually trying to defend Subaru by saying that she wasn't like that, which made me have second doubts regarding her character. This and Rintaro stopping his friend from insulting her more was what started a great character development phase for Subaru, since she noticed that Rintaro wasn't really a bad person and was actually defending her, but it wasn't enough to actually make her not hate them, since from her perspective, they all were still savages because they were men. But I think Karoko's words had a lot of effect on her, since she asked her about those boys. Karoko said that Rintaro is a great person and that those guys weren't bad either, which kind of created a lot of doubt in her mind, which literally started all of this process. But the funny thing is that even after hearing the opinion of one person that she valued, she still wasn't convinced. She still thought that they were savages, because when she found out that Karoko had gone on a study session with Rintaro, she thought that they were dating, and she straight up asked Rintaro to never be near Karoko ever again, and she wanted him to stop seeing her friend, which was kind of really insane. Can you imagine dating a girl and one day her friend comes to you and says that you don't have to see her ever again? Do you know how insane that sounds? But to give Subaru the benefit of the doubt, my girl was just looking out for her friend, because in her school, the teachers hate the students of Chidori, which is the school where Rintaro goes, and to make matters worse, both of their schools have some kind of certain animosity, and since Karoko was someone who isn't from a rich family, she was there on the basis of a scholarship. It might have caused her to lose her place in the school. If she was caught hanging out with the boys from the rival school, it was an insane logic though. What sort of hate do the teachers must have had against the boys that will make them revoke the scholarship of a hardworking innocent girl if she merely hung out with some of the guys? It's absolutely disgusting now that I actually think about it. From a perspective of a morbid curiosity, I'm kind of really interested in knowing their logic. And funny thing is that even Rintaro was going to agree with her words, but something in him worked and caused him to decline that proposal. Good God, this guy loves Kaoroko so much and can't be away from her. As for Subaru, this moment caused her to have some self-reflection, because after this, Her character development is monumental. I would definitely put this at the top because I straight up went to loving her character after what happened, because she realized how wrong she was here and she straight up decided to be honest with her friend Kaoroko because it was eating her from the inside. It makes sense because Rintaro was nice enough to not tell Kaoroko about that conversation. It was something that Subaru had to deal with herself and take accountability for what she did, which was causing her a lot of mental issues, and it was already hard on her enough since she was someone who lived in self hatred. Even now, she wasn't able to love herself. Basically, the context here is that she used to be bullied by the guys in her childhood, which caused her to develop that kind of PTSD. I didn't know her character like that before I got to watch her backstory, and I have to say, I'm glad that I didn't pass any judgment on her character before actually getting to know her because I felt bad for her. I didn't know her character was actually a relatable one like this, but thanks to her friend, she was actually able to slowly overcome it. This shows the importance of a good friend in life because she accepted Subaru for who she is, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it how influential Kaoroko was in her life. This moment was absolute cinema when Kaoroko admitted that she liked Rintaro a lot, going as far as to say that she loved him. It was actually emotional enough to make someone like me feel things. Usually, I don't really feel things on that level, but man, I started to love her character after this moment. She is an absolutely amazing person, and I won't like any slander if it's directed to her. And I also want to mention this scene too, where she reconciles with Rintaro again, when she says that she would love to be his friend because at this moment she was letting go of her biases, and this made her realize how good of a person Rintaro was because he was actually paying attention to her feelings since she was important to Kaoroko, and she realized Rintaro was too kind for his own good, which made her regret everything about how she treated him, ending up with them being friends, which was nice to see. I loved it. I absolutely loved this scene and how heartwarming it was. It made me melt, dude. It absolutely made me melt. This was pretty important. It was because it was a setup for future events and how both Kaoroko and Subaru will become friends with Rintaro's friends, as they were really nice and, need I say, cool too, since they saved both Rintaro and those girls from a harasser gang, which was shocking because I didn't knew that they were that freaking strong enough to beat them easily, especially this guy Ayato, since he was considered to be a big advocate for non-violence. But we all know that guys who don't resort to violence at first sight are always the strongest. And this led to Subaru apologizing to them for her own behavior, which in return led to those guys apologize to her too for their ignorance and their own behavior too, which was really mature. They literally settled this like adults, because there are a lot of dramas where I have seen, like in real life, where people have literally destroyed their own reputation, like that pirate software drama. If that guy only apologized, if he didn't have any ego or pride, he might have had his career now instead of ruining his own reputation. And the same goes for that SAG-AFTRA voice actor drama, where Koina Portger literally got fired from her own job for Paimon's role, which was absolutely insane, not gonna lie. Anyways, back to this scene. It showed how real maturity and how things can be dealt with just by apologizing in real life like proper adults. And at this point, Subaru is my favorite character in the show. Man, low-key, I'm about to give an absolute hot take right now, which is her character is more beautiful than Kaoroko. I don't care. I thought Kaoroko was really beautiful at first, but after this abysmal level of character development, Subaru is my favorite girl, and I think she's the most beautiful girl in this show. She is such a nice person who was misunderstood, and now you can see her real self. She is such a lovable person. This shows how nicely the writer worked on her character and how fleshed out she is, that everything about her makes sense. It reminds me of Vegeta and how he is the best written character of all time, because of how redeeming and perfect his character was. As for Subaru, she's an absolutely amazing person. I won't have it any other way. I pray to God in this anime I get to see more of her character development and how good she is, because she deserves it, and I'm glad that she is getting her character done justice by the author, and this is how I came to love a character who I slightly disliked in the beginning. Anyways guys, that's about it for this video. Do let me know what you all think in the comment section. I would love to hear your opinion on this. That's about it. I will see you all in the next video. Thank you for watching, and do leave a like and a subscribe if you want more of my content. Peace out, have fun.